Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, four nerds by nerds, hanging out with these nerdettes today, and we're going to be playing some 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons with the Scarlet Sisterhood. Uh, Guys, just want to introduce yourself real quick and the characters you're playing.
Sure. I'm Samantha, and I'm playing Agnetha. She is a barbarian half-elf outlander.
I am Megan R. Miller. I will be portraying Kenna, halfling bard.
And I am Vex, playing the very mystical the Fixus, the illusionist gnome.
And before we started, Megan had done a recap on the session. Can I get you to do the recap?
Are you serious?
Your recap is the best.
Yeah, okay, let me scroll back up and read it.
You should be the recap reader. That would be awesome.
Okay. Agnetha and Kenna were like walking back to the halfling caravan with Harak, and then they got jumped by some ruffians. And Agnetha was like, Harak, what is this about? And Kenna was like, LOL, IDK, but let's kick their butts. And then there was a street fight. They went back to the caravan, and Troll was sleeping under Kenna's bardo, and she was like, yeah, okay. But Agnetha was like, no, this is a world of nope. I'm noping out of here. And she did. And the next morning, Agnetha was like hunger striking and not eating breakfast. And Kenna was like, yo, you have to eat. And after some conversation and a lot of forceful coaxing, they went to go see the Pixies. The Pixies dropped some dope information, and then Agnetha and Kenna went to heal some of the drugged up guys that were in the stank tank at the prison. But we know that the guy dealing this stuff is using hollowed porcupine quills and dealing out of the busted donkey.
Perfect. So that's, we're kind of up to speed now. I guess we had left off with you guys. You basically trying to get. Was it you getting Agnetha tea, or was that? Okay, I'm confusing things, but all right, I got it now. You guys had left off after dealing with the stank tank and giving those guys the cure.
Right.
And then we decided we were gonna end it there and wait. So I'm going to pick up from the Fexus coming down the stairs at the poor man's pub, and you and Borsch kind of spent the last like day and a half hashing things out and figuring out where your relationship is now, and him accepting his position as your familiar, and you kind of coming to grips with some of the mental trauma and emotional trauma that went along with that. But as you come down the steps to the poor man's pub, it's a quiet afternoon, normal amount of patrons in there. Tom looks up from the bar where he's polishing what looks like the same glasses he's always polishing, and when he sees you, he kind of makes a noise in his throat and like hitches a shoulder and kind of points over his shoulder, and you see a newly carved sign or placard up above the bar that reads, absolutely no excessive use of magic within the tavern.
He mucked
And he
it
just
up.
and he just kind of smiles and nods to you. And as you get closer, he asks if he can get you and Borsch anything to eat.
The usual. How drunk was I?
Well, I believe it's the first time we've seen the Fexus kind of cut loose and drink anything. And she was getting a little wild and crazy with the magics.
Oh my god.
So after a few moments, he brings out one of the inn's specialties. It's a bowl made out of the actual bread. It's scooped out and filled with a porridge.
Okay, that's always good.
So for both you and Borsch, and he also brings you whatever it is you would like to drink.
Water. Going to go back to the safety game for now.
So he brings that out, and you guys enjoy kind of a quiet, relaxing meal. It's still a little early before the place starts getting busy.
Oh, so are we there too?
you guys can be wherever you want to be.
Yes, we're there too. Unless Agnetha doesn't want to be there too.
I would love to be there. That's probably where I spend most of my time. Agnetha likes to drink.
So
Okay.
okay, so you guys are all there. What is everybody doing?
Food.
What time of day is it? It's just early morning and
No, it's like mid-afternoon because you guys had did some things
mid-afternoon.
the previous
Oh,
day.
I see. So we came back to the pub and that's where we're hanging out.
Yeah, you guys basically are coming. You guys are coming fresh from the stank tank, so it may even be that you smell them coming before they get there.
Is it a familiar
Okay.
scent?
Yes, it is. From your stopover in that one town village where you guys had stopped the troglodytes. It smells faintly of that.
Well, once I see that it's them who that the scent was proceeding, I'm going to turn to them and go, "What did you guys do?"
Nothing bad, I promise.
You
Mushroom ale, please.
weren't having fun with porcupine quills?
No, how did you find out about that?
Yes, smell like the last town.
Oh, dang.
So you knew that they were using porcupine quills and you still let me pick up that vial while we were at the alchemist's. You didn't tell me, you didn't say anything about it, you just let me do it.
I figured you had an IQ high enough to understand the dangers of this sort of lifestyle when you entered into it. But what did I do when I was drunk?
Oh, that's right. You were drunk.
Don't
Okay. That's fair. Anyway, we weren't hurting anybody. We weren't doing any stank or anything like that. We were healing people.
Okay.
Yeah, and while you were at
I
a
like
commission,
get bored.
while you were at a commission, they got the antidote. Sheena had actually put it together.
I thought we got that at the end of the.
Yeah, we did.
2 sessions back.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, we have it.
Anyways,
It's
We
with-
used to do the prisoners and whatnot, so.
did we take care of the previous town yet and get them the antidote, or?
No, we haven't gone there yet. We were waiting for you.
but it's only been like a day and a half, so it has that much time has that not actually gone by.
That's actually something we should probably discuss, though, because I know those people have been waiting a really long time, but we did visit the guys in the stank tank, and some of those guys are probably not going to be very tight-lipped about what happened, and they did see our faces, and I'm like, it raises the question of whether we want to give them time to, talk about that while we go and fix this other
Horses.
problem. But
Circle the wagons. Well, we should at least, send a messenger carrier bird or something.
I mean, personally, I would be less comfortable leaving those people like that, but it's not the tactically sound move.
Yeah, but we could send the antidote with instructions. That way, it gets there, they can get their people fixed up and,
Yeah, but what if the guy
apologize
gets waiting on the road and then we never go back and check on them? And
You're thinking we should deliver it?
I'm thinking we need to discuss what our next move is going to be because there are pluses and minuses to both of these things.
I think I want to see what Agnetha feels like after she's been an ogre for an hour. Anyways.
Wait, what?
Well,
I've been practicing in my bedroom. It's only temporary.
That's what she said. Okay.
okay.
Let us go back to the town, maybe, and actually deliver the
But
antidote.
behind her back, Borscht does this. He waggles his fingers.
I'm just gonna wink at Borscht and be like, "What's up?" I just like making him uncomfortable as much as I can. He's confused now. I've shown him kindness.
I continue to eat my supper.
Agnetha, are you? Maybe you'd prefer to be a goblin for an hour?
No one.
Can you make me
Time was
taller?
forged?
Is that a thing that you're capable of doing? Because I would like to be taller for a little bit and feel like what that's like.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what are we doing now then? You want my opinion on what I would do, Daff? Is that what you said?
Well, I feel bad about the townspeople, but at the same time, it's a case of how do we know that they haven't circled their wagons already?
Circled their wagons isn't already
It's-
told.
Huh?
I'm not familiar with the euphemism.
She's talking
Oh,
about the bad guys, the ones that are dealing the stank.
Yeah.
Yeah, circle the wagon. Basically means they got prepared and, or set up for any sort of whatever's going to happen.
Well, they would have to
Sorry,
have
I forgot-
moved really fast, and if we go, this is going to take days, and that will give them more days to prepare. And who knows what they could do by then. But at the same time, those people... Oh, speaking of which, we did... Oh man, if only I could remember what it was. Somebody said something, and it just seemed like something that you would know more about than we would. And I start describing to her the way that they looked like they were reacting to the thing when we went and saw the guys in the stank tank, and see what she can make out of that.
Okay, what? Reacting to what thing? What?
They were only slightly scaly. It looked like they were starting to get a scaly pattern, and they had been on it for a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know what you're talking about now. At first, I'm like, what is she talking about? Okay, so when they encountered basically the junkies, they were kind of itching and scratching at themselves, and they were starting to form this a rash. The one who had been on it the longest, it was starting to form a rash on his arm, where it was starting to take on the pattern of the scales, but it wasn't scales yet.
So I have a question then. Is this porcupine sort of way of injecting a more slow dose than, say, the guys that were whatever they were taking back in the previous town where Vex and I were, where they were just full on lizarded out?
Well, we had hypothesized at the time that was a prototype or something that he was testing, maybe.
Okay.
But we don't know. That's why we're asking you.
Yeah, from what you guys have experienced so far, the one, the people in the tavern, they had something mixed into their ale, and they turned almost immediately. Where these guys have been doing these drugs for weeks,
right?
And the only sign was the rash,
right? So it's a smaller dose of it.
So that it definitely leads you to believe that it is definitely something different.
Okay. So the question is, do we take this this medicine that we have to cure this disease back to this former town, or do we stay here? Is that the question?
I mean, sort of. The question is, which do we take care of first? Because we're absolutely going to tackle both. It's just what order we do it in.
Right. Well, let's do what's before us first.
Well, it's both of it is. That's the problem.
Closest to us, I guess I would say. And then in what order? What do you guys think?
I honestly don't know. That's why I'm asking you guys.
Well, I think that these people that have been waiting for us to come back with some kind of cure, maybe these creatures are still in the dungeon of their tavern or wherever they are, and
basement, but
they need our help. So we should probably take care of that. We have some previous engagements that we need to settle.
I think that sounds reasonable.
Okay. Well, how
and
far
it gives us more
from
time to plan how to tackle this guy in the first place, too. They can plan and we can prepare as well.
Should we let the alchemist know, the elf, that we're going to be leaving town, and tell anybody else, maybe Harok and other people?
You really just want to go talk to Harok, don't you?
Yeah, I really miss him. So
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, all right. That sounds like a reasonable thing to do.
we have another night, right? I mean,
It,
Yeah.
it's been since yesterday.
that's a long time. See, so if we're gonna leave, though, maybe we should tell the people that we've interacted with sort of what we're doing. So if they have our backs, they can have our backs, and if not, if you guys think that we should do it in secret, though, then we can do that. What's your opinions?
You could always also just leave some notes, and the halflings can probably deliver them to
Mhm.
Harak and Dashina.
I can write some notes. I can write some missives. I like get my notebook of paper out and start scrawling things. She
There
really
you
likes
go.
making notes.
I kind of feel like we should do it privately.
You really just want to go talk to Harak, don't you?
No, like don't tell Harak. Don't tell anybody.
Don't
Just
tell Harak.
take the cure back to this former town and try to help these people that have been transformed.
Oh, you don't want to brag.
Well, I also don't know who I can trust right now, so I'm trying to be very much my own mission, sort of a.
Oh, are you wigged out about those guys that waylaid us on the way back to the caravan?
I'm in doubt of everyone right now. I don't know. What do you think about Lala Midge and all of them?
Are you
think?
seriously trying to tell me you don't trust Lala Midge?
I do. I'm just saying, what should we do? How far away is this former town from where we are right now, Dave?
It'll take you about a week to get there and back.
Okay, so that's a very noticeable time gap between us being there and being gone.
I 100% have got to tell my family where I'm going. They're going to get upset with me if I don't.
Then let's tell at least the halflings where we're going. Everyone else can sort of be on low key. What do you think?
I think we need to tell Sheena, but I'm going to leave her a note.
Okay,
How do you
I
know
agree
the
with that. I
halflings
think we
aren't
can
in on
tell
it?
the alchemists.
Dex, what was that? Or Daff, what was that?
I don't know.
I don't know if that was in or out of character, actually.
I could not hear you. Yeah.
Do we have any information on who's spreading the musk at this point, or are we still kind of shooting?
Oh,
from
yes,
the
we have a
hip?
name.
We do. Nolan, is that his name? Or whatever.
No, not Nolan. He doesn't have anything to do with this as far as I know. Let me see. I've got it. And she's like shuffling through papers. Darewood. His name is Darewood.
Darewood.
And he's working with men named Goran, Hyson, and Samuel.
Mm-hmm. They're the sort of main drug dealers of this town, yeah? City?
I mean,
What are
at the
they?
very least with this particular thing.
Mm-hmm.
They were the names that you guys had gotten from the guys in the stank tank.
So
Okay. Yeah.
we
that's
know
what I
his
thought.
name and we know that he operates at the Busted Donkey.
Do you want to go and have a couple beers at Busted Donkey? Maybe leave this joint and go see what we can find over here at this other place?
I think if we're going to go, we shouldn't drink before we do it.
No, don't drink. Just show up and see what's going on. And maybe we could even pretend to drink and not. And we'll just sort of there observing. What do you think?
You mean
What's-
get a look at what's going on over there, see if we need to intervene immediately, and if we don't, then we can just go and do our thing and then come back.
Right. Correct.
What's the reputation of the Busted Donkey?
I heard it was the worst bar in town.
It's rascally, baby.
It is the worst
So-
bar in town. Correct.
So it's
Mhm.
a place that Agatha would probably hang out if she had the chance. Got it.
I'm like, we should go there.
I mean, I don't have a problem roughing it.
Don't partake. Touch nothing.
Okay,
Yeah, I
so
don't know.
let's go
Ooh.
check it out. And then
Okay.
if it's not too bad, we'll just go and then come back after and take care of it then.
Sounds good to me. I can hear your dog breathing. He's like,
You have company.
He's just a hyper dog.
I'm
And
happy. Yeah.
He has a winter coat, so any type of temperature above, anything tends to make him okay. He just pants all the time. I don't know the reason why.
My dog's like that too. He's a Labrador Retriever. So you guys head over to the Busted Donkey, and it's actually it's a newer building, like where the other establishments are older, but it is like in the rundown part of town.
Mhm.
And
I'm gonna put my patchy cloak on before we go in there and be not me.
So when you get there, the sign outside, is literally a picture of a donkey, but it's broken in half.
The sign or the donkey?
The donkey on the sign.
Okay.
You know, with the lines.
Okay.
I'm sensing a second level pun here, but I'm not gonna make the joke.
So when you go in, there's a bit of a rough crowd there. There's a overweight, bald, profusely sweating human male at the bar, wiping it down with a dirty rag. Looks kind of bored, kind of barely glances in your direction. There's several patrons like kind of lazing about. There's three rough looking men on the far side of the room throwing darts. And there's the room just seems to be filled with kind of like a smoke haze.
Oh God, I feel so weird here.
And
Hey, Agatha, that barkeep sure type, isn't he? You could hit him up.
That was terrible.
no way,
You.
he's no Harak, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's no Harak, so there.
Oh, he's Harak in 10 years. Get used to it.
Whoa.
I'm so
No.
done with you two. I'm like just gonna walk up to the
No.
bar and have a seat.
I'm gonna pinch
Might be
force
a
as soon as I can.
Pinch forced, you turn green for an hour.
Uh-oh.
I like that. It's a good color on me, so whatever, it's worth it.
So as you guys get deeper into the bar, the bartender finally kind of notices you, looks up with a lazy eye. What can I do for you, ladies? What can I get you?
Ah,
Ale, if you would.
Aye, we got the ale.
I pay in copper pieces.
Okay, so it's 2 copper per tankard, and
Yes, good.
I'm gonna
You
order
know-
a dork.
you're gonna order what?
A dork.
Oh, they don't serve that here. That's not. This place isn't that good.
Damn it.
Sake!
You order that. We don't got no fancy stuff like that here.
Would you have like something close to sake or mead?
We got ale. Pretty much, we got ale.
You don't have freaking mead in this place? What is wrong?
Agnetha, have you never been in slums before? Like,
Fine, give me the mushroom ale if you have that.
The mushroom ale. We don't serve that swill here. We just got regular kind of ale.
Give me your IPA then. I don't care. Give me your Pabst.
You want that fancy uptown stuff?
God damn it! I can't find a good beer in this town.
So basically he puts down three tankards. They all look the same, and you're not entirely sure they've ever been washed.
I'm going to
gross.
quote unquote fake drinking it or act like I'm nursing it.
Yeah, right.
Also
So-
going to give it a good look to make sure it doesn't look like there's any stank in it or whatever.
How do we?
I
fake
do
it?
that, but I am actually going to drink it.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
It actually doesn't taste that bad. I mean, it's definitely watered down. But you've probably have drank worse.
Let me put it this way. I am used to having to prove myself being like very much shorter than everybody else around me. So I'm gonna drink this drink and I'm gonna act like I'm enjoying it because I have
Yeah,
something to prove here.
It's a drink. I'm gonna totally drink it with you, Kenna. We're gonna drink this together.
I'm not getting
content.
hammered. I'm not trying to get hammered anyway.
I
But
just
am going to
keep
drink this
like
drink
giving
like a
you
man.
a drink. I'm like, take it, Kenna.
Yeah.
Take the drink.
Oh God.
We're getting hammered.
Dave, as a way to kind of integrate our way into this crowd, I am going to play Wing Girl for Agatha and try to set her up with like the medieval version of a biker guy.
Oh my god.
Oh, this is happening.
I'm gonna kick his
So,
ass.
so there is the 3 guys that are overthrowing darts.
Is anybody under 5 foot here?
Is there anybody? Yeah, there's probably a couple of people that are a little bit shorter, and like now that your eyes are kind of adjusting, it's a little darker in here. You can see in the back corner there's like an enclave, and there's a small group of men over there. And you can't quite see them all because it's a bit darker, and there's like two or three of them. They're kind of like in the front of the enclave. They're kind of like blocking things out. You're not there long before you notice someone that really reminds you of the guys that you saw in the stank tank. Like he doesn't look like them, but the mannerisms are kind of the same, and they just kind of have that degraded look to them. Go over to that corner. And then, talk to them they're only over there for like 5-10 minutes and they leave.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to set Agatha up with the most scarred guy out of the 3 playing darts. I'm going to try to keep an eye on that corner and see if there's anything interesting, like an exchange of items or coin or anything.
If you're paying attention, it becomes quite clear and apparent right away that the 3 guys that kind of stand in the front are acting as a screen.
Okay. I want to step outside and cast illusion and then come back in and go over there. Not illusion, invisibility. They both begin with an I. And I was thinking about Defexis doing stuff and that happened. So
Okay, so all right, so you do that. You are now invisible, and you come back in.
So I'm just gonna go walk over there and see what I can overhear.
Okay, so the three are kind of standing in the front, and they're just kind of making small talk about like nonsense that's going on in town, about not liking someone, just kind of like run of the mill type stuff. But the other 2, if you really listen, one of their voices is much lower and deeper and gruff. And now that you're closer, you can get a look at him. You see clearly that has to be Durwood the dwarf.
Can I see him at all? Is he like too far in shadow?
Yeah, no, you can see him well enough in here. I mean, your eyes are adjusted, and now you're closer, and also without them being obscured by the 3 in front of them, it's much easier. And being a halfling, it is a lot easier for you to slip in, and you're Lightfoot too, right? So, yeah. So what you see is his hair is kind of reddish, which is a little less common for the dwarves, but he's also kind of like the dirtiest looking dwarf you've seen. Like you've probably seen a few in town, and they're well groomed and real acclimated to society. This guy kind of looks like the degenerate version of those guys.
Hating on the gingers.
They have no souls. And every once in a while, I can just see the flash of the gray eyes from his thick, bushy eyebrows. He's wearing kind of like regular work clothes, but the guy that he's talking to, every once in a while, I hear him refer to him as Sammy Boy, and you hear him ask about the supply and how things are doing. If we have to make another run.
So he's the supply guy, the Sammy guy?
No, when he's talking to him, clearly he's a subordinate, and he kind of talks down to him, and Sammy talks up. You can clearly see that.
Right. He's the deliverer.
When he asks him, all right, let me do this real quick. But I hate role playing with myself. But okay, so Sammy Boy, how are things looking? What's our supplies at? Well, boss, we're starting to run a little low. We're gonna have to go see the man before too long. Damn it, Sammy! I hate going to see that guy. He gives me the creeps. There's something not right about him at all. But the goods are good. These people, they can't get enough. They'll do anything. They'll sell their mothers. they'll pull their mother's teeth out and sell those in order to get this stuff. Hopefully we can make this thing work long enough, get enough money, and we can get out of this little stink hole, set ourselves up down in Rylar. If we can get a connection there, if we can get the man to start sending this stuff there from here, I think it'll be good. Yeah, boss. You always know what's right, what's best. But I think we're going to have to see him within the next couple of days. Maybe sooner. I don't know. Well, set it up, Sammy.
All right. At that point, I withdraw. And I can't cast while I'm using normal invisibility, so I'm not going to be stupid enough to cast a message. I'm just going to tap Daff on the shoulder on my way past and then kind of tug Agnetha's sleeve and move back out the door. Kind of try and make it look like the wind blew it a little bit instead of just a person opening it, because I don't want it to be too obvious, but yeah. Outside.
Okay. So we're gonna follow you out.
But one of the things about this tap room, about this particular establishment, where Tom's is kind of not like a fancy place. It's definitely more like the commoners, but there's always like a good kind of jovial mood to that place, and it was kind of a nice place to hang out. It's like the medieval version of Cheers, right?
Right.
So
It's a mom and pop store.
Yeah, but this place just stinks of desperation and hopelessness.
It's a hole.
It is a hole.
It's like a drug pen. Like it's where people come together to hook up. Basically, right? It was the kind of thing you're giving it, the kind of feel.
That might be something more recent, but it's already like it's just the place has a bad feel to it.
Okay. Yeah, it's one of those hole in the wall pubs that are shitty.
Yes.
So we're outside with you now, Kenna.
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of pull you guys into an alley that is not right in front of the door, and then not be invisible anymore, and be like, all right, this is more complicated than we thought. And I'm making it a point to speak very quietly. I might even use message. It's a cantrip. It doesn't cost me anything. So yeah, I'm messaging you too. If I have to repeat myself, so be it, but that's safer. They talked about needing to go see the man before too long. They were estimating it the next couple of days or maybe sooner, and we're not going to be back by then if we leave. Also, do either of you know what Rylar is?
Sounds like a town that I've heard of.
So all of you would be familiar, at least in the name as well. It's a port city that is, it's kind of crime ridden. It's a degenerate city. It is basically the kingdom is Drellic, and so Rylar would be the asshole of the kingdom, Drellic.
So it's Tatooine, but a port. Well, technically it was.
Yes.
Frigid hive of scum and villainy.
Okay.
Well, that's where they're trying to go. But if these guys make port with this stuff and they start shipping it other places, this could get really bad.
So how many of them are there in the corner again?
There was 5.
5? Let's see if we can pull this trick. Dun, 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 dun. I have an idea. It's not a great idea.
Well, it's more than what we've got right now, so keenly listening.
Daphnis is going to run in and cast Fireball.
Oh my god.
No, as much fun as that would be, no.
She's trying to get one of them to seduce me.
I was trying to set you off with the one with the most scars.
Yeah, that's what I thought, you stinker.
Is there any way I could possibly cast a spell without, tipping the guys off in the corner?
I would let you try and cast. First of all, it depends on what spell you're casting.
Sleep.
And so there's a couple of different ways you could do it. One is you can try and hide and do it, which if you successfully hide, then it's just a matter of making, you can probably be far enough out of range where they're not going. No one's going to hear you.
Okay.
Is there a window?
In this place, there are no windows.
That sounds ominous.
Though it looks like whatever windows there were actually were broken out a long time ago, and they never bother replacing the glass. They just put boards up.
See, you can still hop out the window, hop back in. You know, your jazzercising routine. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna try to basically, as carefully as I can, try to put that corner group to sleep. That's my idea. Knock them all out, and then tie up the leader and drag him off.
So you think? So all right, let me think about this. So you think like the 4 guys might be kind of easy to get, but getting the 4 guys and the dwarf could probably be a bit tougher because everybody knows dwarves are incredibly stubborn.
That's why I was thinking, trying to get the 3 guys out front with the sleep spell and then cast a second one because they're not exactly actively talking in that group, so it might give me a couple seconds before they realize, oh shit, somebody's fallen asleep. At least that's what I'm thinking.
Well, if you do that, what do we do after?
The leader and interrogate him.
There's other people in the bar.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure the bartender isn't going to appreciate us going in and doing something like that.
People are going to notice you doing magic.
Well, I mean, they don't have a big sign saying "Don't do magic in here," but
if
Not yet, anyway.
If it's a place like Tatooine, then maybe you could just shoot someone and move forward.
Here's the thing: this
go.
guy is doing something really serious, and people are coming in here all the time to get that stuff from him. He's good for business. The bartender is not going to be okay with us just taking him.
Right.
Do they have bounty hunters in this city?
Yes.
Well,
there's actually a bounty hunter agency in Gryphongaffe.
Yeah, see, we just claim to be a part of them. Tell, that there's something on this guy's head, yada, 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 Bards are good at making shit up.
Oh, no. I don't even know how they work. I've never seen these guys. I would have to do research.
Just saying we're working for the bounty hunters, and,
I gotta write a term paper. There's all these steps.
Oh my god.
But we go in, claim bounty stuff, and sneak off with him. They'll be a while before they wake up, and we can interrogate him and get the information we need and make a move.
Well,
or we could just kill them all.
Stick around for a
we could do it Agatha style.
Sneak off to see the man and then follow them.
I like Kenna's idea better.
It's safer.
I'm a little less intrigued into actually using magic in a pub, just because there's a lot of stuff that goes on in a pub.
So
and there's people around that you might not notice.
After you guys talk it over, here's the gist of it. I think if you guys talk it out, is
okay.
You could probably get away with casting spells and not be noticed, but it's going to be hard to carry a dwarf out, whether you have to subdue him or not, unnoticed. Right. And as Megan pointed out, clearly what's going on isn't really a secret. So there may be allies within the bar to these guys. So probably trying to wait them out might be the best bet.
But if we do decide to follow them, that means we have to stay here and wait for them to leave, and we have to have eyes on this place all the time.
Yeah, that's a lot of time wasted.
Yeah, you're probably looking at investing a good 6 to 10 hours.
Excuse me?
And the beer here sucks. It's not even very good.
Well, you wouldn't have to wait inside. You could always, wait outside.
That's what I'd be doing, definitely. But then there are still the people in that tavern, and we don't know if they're getting any worse.
We could just hang about and just sort of, be sort of exclusive and sort of in the shadows and watch and see what goes down in the pub this night before we decide to leave the next day. since it's getting evening time now and the sun's probably down at this point. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's probably about 6 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
You figure they're going to clear out of this place anywhere from 12 to 4 in the morning.
Yeah, let's remain just really quiet and like not noticeable. Let's try to be unnoticed.
We just went in. She left, and now we've left. To go back in would seem a little weird, don't you think?
That's true. I mean, I was in disguise, so I could just take the cloak off, but that's, I don't think you can illusion that long for the two of you, and it's,
Yeah.
Also, it smells bad in
invisible
there.
for an hour, but that's about it.
We could always find like some kind of close by. What's this place like, Dave? Is there any sort of
There's ramshackle.
bushes?
There's ramshackle buildings all over the place. Some of them look like they're abandoned.
Okay, we could hide out in one of those. We could just sort of lay low and see what these guys are up to tonight.
Now just watch. We're going to get in there, and there are already going to be homeless people squatting, and we're going to end up having to fight them over a stakeout spot.
Oh no. Well, I was thinking of like a bush or a tree or like some kind of ramshackle or something like that we could hide out in close by to the pub. Or if you guys want to just sort of, I mean, I don't know if it'd be a good idea to hang out in there and just sort of make yourself comfortable. You could act like drunken idiots that are just in there having fun, but you're not really drunk, and you can learn a lot from these guys.
I mean, I suppose that's a point to be had, but
are there homeless people around here?
No. Actually, Gryphongaffe is a pretty up and coming town, and like the ghetto section isn't very big. And some of it almost feels like the ghetto section is actually newer than a lot of the town.
Okay, so it's pretty.
It's so nice here that they had to import slums, is what he's saying.
Pretty much, if that makes sense.
So there isn't any like random homeless people hanging around.
You have not seen many of those at all. No.
Not many, but there are some.
Yes, you could. You
like beggars and stuff.
If you look around, you could definitely find one or two at least.
So, are you suggesting that we pay a homeless person to do our scouting for us?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking that wasn't a bad idea, but if you've got something else in mind, I'm all ears.
Well, I was going to ask them for just straight up information about if they, see where these guys go and whatnot. But
well, cool, Daff. You do you. I'm gonna squat in this building over here and watch the door, and I will get your attention if we need to move, and then you guys do this thing. Cool.
Okay. So, are you guys going to scope out the tavern from the outside?
You guys can scout it from the outside, and I could do it from the inside. What do you think? I could just go in there and pretend to just be drinking and like.
Have fun, Agatha. I think the one with stars has something for you, but.
How are you going to get our attention if you need help?
I've got my ways.
Okay,
someone is going to go through one of those boarded up windows.
Okay, yeah. If you end up needing us that badly, throw a chair through that window, and we'll come running.
You'll know when I make a move. How's that?
I'm sure we will.
That's where that bear totem's going to come in when she throws one of the biker guys through the boarded window.
Oh, good.
Let's dance, baby. Bam!
I figure bikers in medieval times have got to be like they ride large goats or something, because of horns.
Large goats.
They ride goats?
Goat rider. Well, or ram riders. I don't know. My brain's going sideways on that. But
there's a tribe of orcs just outside of not far outside of Gryphongaffe that do ride goats.
Quite literally riding that hog.
I thought the dwarves do ride goats. I'm so confused.
They do in Lord of the Rings.
Not in this world, though, right?
And in World of Warcraft, sort of.
Well, they ride rams in World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
It's a slight difference, but
I mean, like they're very similar.
So there is an entrance in the front.
So
there's an entrance in the front of the building, and there is one in the back.
Okay, well that's good. So it's not that crazy. I mean, if I have some problems, y'all will know about it. It's not like
watching the front door isn't going to help because there are two of those.
I'm going
Well,
to.
you have an extra. Go ahead.
Can I get
Go
on the
ahead.
roof?
Yeah, you'd be able to get to the roof.
I get on the roof so I can watch both the doors.
There you go.
I'm going to construct a homeless network or beggar network, and I'm going to go around to several of the different beggars and basically, you know, give them some gold pieces to kind of, keep an eye out for so and so, or this, that, or that, and
Okay.
if they find anything relevant or see where these guys regularly go to hide out or whatever,
So
they know how to contact me as I wander around.
the first person you come across that fits what you think is what you're looking for is she's an older woman, and she is slightly overweight and walking with a limp, kind of dragging her one leg, and she's got this big sack she's dragging with her. She's got long gray scraggly hair. You think it's hard to tell because there's so much dirt, and she's wearing several coats and dragging this large, like, Santa Claus style sack behind her.
Okay.
What can I do for you, dearie?
I need some help. I'm trying to get some bad people off the streets and keep the neighborhood safe and keep this place from becoming worse than it could.
Bad people? What do you mean bad people, dearie? It's pretty quiet around here and peaceful.
Quiet and peaceful doesn't always mean it's safe. There's some men who have been dealing these drugs that turn people into monsters.
Oh, monsters, you say? That sounds awfully scary.
Yeah, so I'm
She's like,
trying
what?
to know, and I'll give a description of a couple of the guys and whatnot, and let her know basically.
As you start doing that, she kind of like squats down and starts folding back the mouth of the sack and starts rummaging and digging through it. Have you eaten yet today, girl? And she pulls out like a piece of sausage that's kind of moldy.
I've eaten this morning already. I spent time at the I can't remember the name of the tavern right now.
Poor man's pub.
Poor man's pub.
Oh yeah, that's a really nice establishment. Are you sure? You're really small.
Gnomes are born that way.
Oh, you're one of them gnomes. I thought you were a little girl.
No.
Well, that
I'm a
makes
gnome.
sense. Well, if you were a little girl, you shouldn't be running around here by yourself at night.
No, I agree. I shouldn't. But trust me, a lot of these bad fellows should be more afraid of me than I am of them. But
well, you look really sweet. I don't know why they'd be afraid of you, especially what, a mage.
Yes, and I'll put on a little illusionary puppet show a little bit just to kind of show off a little bit.
Her face kind of lights up, and she looks a little bit younger, for an instant, and then the warrior of the world kind of just like comes slamming back home after that. But so what do you need from me, dearie? To watch for monsters? I don't want to go after monsters,
but I'm gonna describe those guys again, give her the names and whatnot, and I'll hold out like 10 gold pieces for her.
So when you describe them, she spits when you describe Durwood. That dwarf's a cad.
Yeah, and he's the one who's largely behind all of this. So.
Oh, I try and stay away from him. So are you? You said you're flashing 10 gold pieces.
Yeah.
And what do you need me to do? She's looking at. You've got her attention.
Just watch these guys and let me know if you see them end up in any particular places. I'm gonna ask a few of the other people who are kind of having problems with money around here. The other, trying to be sensitive to her, what seems like her situation, but
So
yeah,
she takes the gold that you give her and she just like nonchalantly throws it in the sack. But so you want me to watch to see what places they go to?
yeah.
Well, I'll probably go home at some point.
Huh?
I'll go home. I
Do you
always
know where
go
he
home.
lives?
Yeah, and she gives you directions.
Okay, I'll hand her another 10 gold pieces for that information. I'll tell her thank you. If you see anything else, if they're doing anything strange or shifty, let me know.
Again, she takes the gold and just throws it in her sack nonchalantly. Now, which seems really odd because 20 gold pieces is probably more than any commoner makes in a year. And she just kind of goes back to dragging the sack and kind of like humming and singing to herself. So you get the idea that she might be a little off.
Yeah. Yeah. That tends to happen, but and I'll tell her thank you and
Oh,
again,
you're
you
welcome.
know,
You're welcome, dearie. What was your name again?
Daff.
Daff? It was a pleasure to meet you, Daff. They just call me Granny.
Nice to meet you too, Granny, and thank you so much for your help.
She's
No.
not going to start like talking about little birdies, is she? I'm a little bit sussed out.
She has not started talking about birdies yet.
Okay.
I'm going to wave goodbye and head towards where I thought Megan was headed.
Okay.
I'm on the roof.
Yeah, so you see Daff kind of walking down below. You're not actually on the roof of the tavern, though. You're like the next building over, so you can get
Mm-hmm.
the view of both sides.
It's also worth mentioning I am, in fact, a fiddler.
And on a roof, gotcha.
Nice.
So you see Daphne like walking in the alley.
I'll use message to let her know that I found out where the dwarf lives.
Good. You can cast message through solid barriers if you know that your target is behind them, so you can get Agnetha too without having to walk inside.
Right.
True. But I don't want to disturb where she's at for the moment. I figured I'd pass on the message to you and see what you think.
Well, I think we should definitely check it out, but
Do
I
you
also
think we
want to
should
keep
leave?
an eye on the door, so...
Yeah, that's the problem. Agatha could probably handle herself better in a bar fight than the two of us, but we could go and scope out the guy's house and see if he has anything there.
Okay, message her, tell her to keep an eye on the guys in the corner, and if they move, I guess how would she let us know?
I'm going to... I have an idea. I'm going to send Agatha a message to keep the group there. Keep an eye on them. And if they try to leave, try to start a bar fight with one of them.
Wait, you're gonna leave me at a bar and just assume and just hope that I start a fight with them and I'm gonna be all by myself. What the fuck is going
If you
on?
would rather go and check out the house, I'll stay on this roof and watch and follow them if they come out.
It's a bar fight. Nobody pulls out anything sharp often.
I feel unloved. Okay, Dav?
We
Well,
just
you're
know
the-
that you can handle yourself.
Me,
Ego
I'd burn down
barbarian.
the whole building trying to...
I mean, I could just stay on the roof and then follow them if they try to leave. I can be all quiet and stuff. I'm little.
Yeah, but
There you go.
you know how to
Let's
pick a
do
lock,
that.
don't you?
I know knock.
I don't know if I have knock.
I don't
I
need
do
to
not-
pick locks. Locks only keep honest people out.
I don't...
Well, I have my own version.
That was
of
kind of
knock.
harsh.
You
You're
could
a halfling. You know how to pick locks, don't you?
I don't think that's a racial thing.
It's a bard thing. They're closely related to thieves, aren't they? Or rogues?
I'm not sure I like your tone.
How ridiculous.
Oh, please, nobody
So-
just plays to loot.
What is Agnetha doing in the bar?
She is inside drinking and enjoying herself.
So one of the sweaty guys with a large beard, bushy beard that's unkept, and he's bald on top, but he's got long either the long hair on the sides and the back.
Mhm.
He's pretty built, but he's got a large beer belly. And he comes waddling over to where you're at the bar. I haven't seen you around here before.
Agatha's like, "What's up, sexy? I like your gut." It's hot.
That's what your friend told me.
Is that supposed to be funny?
What are you drinking? Can I buy you some more?
I have enough of my own money, thank you.
Ah, come on, lady. Don't be like that. Gus, come on over. And he starts waving towards the barkeeper.
All right. You want to buy me a beer?
Get us another ale. Stat.
All right, I'm totally down for this. All right, go ahead. Give me a beer. All right. She's sort of acting shy, but like she's acting uneasy. She's acting right now.
He's definitely standing uncomfortably close to you,
Mm-hmm.
and his breath.
So I'm
stinks.
gonna stand uncomfortably close to him and deal with his nasty breath for a minute.
So in a moment, Gus comes back and he's got two owls. He slaps them down, and here you go, Rollo. And the guy that's been talking to you responds, "Just put it on my tab."
Yeah, make that too, buddy. I'm thirsty tonight.
You sure, miss?
I'd like 2 of them. Yep,
So-
I'm definitely need 2.
So he kind of looks over at Rollo, and Rollo kind of gives him a nod, and he brings it over. So where are you from? I haven't seen you around here before.
Yeah. By the way, what area are we in? How close are we to the coast from here?
You guys are weeks from the coast.
Weeks from the coast. Okay, so I'm just gonna express that that's where I'm from. I'm kind of west from here. I'm closer to the coast. Just doing some traveling myself. How about you guys? Agnetha's just gonna. Can I sort of pretend to just chug one beer and like, I don't know. I guess I'm not pretty much a drinker, so I could chug one beer and not even be phased.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. Okay. So Agnetha's just gonna make a statement by chugging an entire beer.
Okay. So you go to do that. Give me a perception check.
Somebody found his Woody Harrelson. Wait.
So 12.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Yeah. And then, okay, wait. No, that would be a 15. I'm sorry. There we go. 15.
So you totally notice that when he was talking to you, he was clearly trying to distract you.
Yeah.
And he was trying to slip something in your drink. He did slip it in your drink, but you saw him do it.
Okay. Can I have I guess if I saw him slip it into my drink, could I have like pretended to drink that drink in any way, or did I actually drink it?
No, you right. Like at this point, you have not drank it yet, but he put something in there.
Okay, so I see him putting it in there, and I just sort of like pick it up, and I start sort of talking about this place that I'm from, and I'm just bullshitting. I'm just telling complete bullshit to this guy, and just telling story after story, and getting him hyped up about where I'm from. But it's all,
And then one of the guys from over by the darts, hollers over, "Come on, Rollo, are you playing darts or not?" And he's like, "Jack, leave me alone. I'm busy. Can't you see I'm talking to the lady here?"
And I'm like, yeah, can't you see he's talking to the lady here?
And they all laugh. They all laugh and go, "Ah, no ladies ever come in here."
No lady like me, buddy. No lady like me.
Then so
I'll be
then
like, what are all you boys up to tonight anyways? I'm totally, man, I'm just so bored. I just need something to do. You guys, what are you doing tonight? I'm really just itching to have some fun.
says, "Well, you come to the right place. All the ladies like Rolo. We could get out of here if you want."
All right. So, well, let's have some beers and have some fun first. But yeah, I'd like to play some darts with y'all. I'm pretty good at that. I'm gonna start just sort of breaking into their accent and breaking into their their city drug dealing.
So you
slang, I guess you could say.
You head over to the dartboard, which totally you can see that Rolo's kind of annoyed about it, but he kind of goes along with it. So you got your two tankards of ale. The one in your right hand, is the one with the roofies in it.
Right.
And they follow you over. He's like, "So you throw darts?"
Oh yeah, it's a pastime. It's super fun. Do you?
Of course, I'm like the champion around here. I can give you some pointers if you like.
You're the
And he
champion?
so he starts trying to like stand next to you and like put the dart in your hand.
Yeah. Okay. And I just totally go with it. I'm trying to boast him up and make him feel super hot.
So he's being really creepy about the whole thing. And
okay. I'm like, oh my God, show me what you know. You have to tell me what you know. Teach me, please teach me.
So he kind of walks you through throwing some darts, and he's got the dart in your hand, and he's trying to show you the motion or whatever, and he's definitely not teaching you anything new you haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And then so after that, basically, the two other guys that were there, Jack and Lara, they start throwing darts with you. So you guys can throw darts if you like. Basically, it's the D20.
Okay. I'm gonna throw a dart, and I get. Do I add anything to that, or is it just a D20?
Your dex and your proficiency, or you can use your strength. I guess that would be a thrown.
So I roll a 16.
Okay, so there's 3 of those guys, and they're gonna throw with you. 2 of them.
I'm gonna kill time while Daff is checking this place out.
2 of them don't even hit the dartboard. What was your total?
16.
Your total was 16, or did you roll a 16?
No, that was my total.
Okay. So you hit just outside of the bullseye, and the one guy that he was talking to, Jack, actually hits the bullseye. Rolo did not even get on the board.
I'm like, oh,
and
so good, are you?
And Jack's like, "Oh, not bad, lady. It looks like you should be giving Rolo some lessons." And then the other guys join in, kind of ribbing him. What's your name anyway?
My name. My name is Jill.
Megan, you're shaking your head. You thought she was going to give her a real name, didn't you?
No, you guys, y'all can just call me Jay. People call me Joe from where I'm from, but you guys, I like it when my friends call me Jay. Jay is cool.
All right, Jay, and they start slapping you on your back, and then Rolo's like, "Are you gonna drink? Drink!" And then he like raises his tankard into the air. "Let us drink."
All right. So I by this point my other ale had been set down since I was playing darts, and I go to pick up the other drink that's not poisoned, and I just drink it.
Okay.
I just start drinking it. I drink maybe half of it. I don't drink the whole thing. On edge, since the other one I know is poisoned, and this one I'm like, oh God. Jenna, Daff, you guys. Calling to you in my psyche.
She probably doesn't know that your spell doesn't work that way, so she probably is trying to call you that way.
I'm like trying to talk to you through some kind of psychic way. I'm like, help me.
The people are looking at you like, "Are you all right? You need to use the restroom."
I've got this weird guts going on, guys, but that's a good beer. Woo!
So so it goes after a couple rounds of darts. It ends up being basically you and Jack, or it's between the two of you. The other two are out. So give me 2 more D20 rolls.
Okay.
And also, he asked if you want to have a wager.
So the first one, the total was 9. And then the second one was 19.
So you actually beat him out on the next 2 throws.
Nice.
So a little bit of time has gone by. I mean, you guys are kind of like BSing between rounds of darts, talking about the local town, and also while you're here hanging out, at least a half a dozen people come in and out that they really just beeline right over to that back corner.
Okay.
And then they're there for 5-10 minutes and then leave.
Okay. So while Agnetha is this kind of sitting there with these guys bullshitting, sort of shooting the shit, she's gonna sort of try to blend into this crowd, kind of act like she's like kind of sort of more street than usual. She's gonna act like she's from whatever, and I'm going to basically ask sort of slightly like, hey, you guys got anything like something good for me, like anything like that? Kind of looking for something to feel good tonight. She's gonna kind of try to seduce them into like giving her what they have.
So when you start going down that road, they're like, well,
I noticed.
They're like, well, what kind of something? And then all of a sudden, like, they get a little concerned, like,
okay,
and a little genuine for the first time.
Okay.
And they kind of look to the back corner and drop their voice low. You should probably stay away from Durwood and his stuff. People are getting really messed up on it. I mean, there's some goblins running around town. They got stuff. It's okay. It's good, and it doesn't mess you up the way Durwood's messing people up. It's not good.
Okay, so these guys are whispering that to me. Is this like Jack and Sam or what?
Jack, Lalo, and Rolo.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna sort of whisper into these guys and just like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? Like, am I supposed to be afraid of like trying to find some good stuff in this town, or like what? Like, this place is weird. I've never been here before.
Like, no, it's nothing like that. Just just stay away from Durwood. His crew, they're not good.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
so you guys.
They got to deal with Gus. Gus lets them do their thing in here, and nobody messes with them. But just saying, I would stay away. All
right, man. Whoa, cool, man. I was just trying to get some good stank, Sorry. I'm sorry I asked. Let's just have some beer and play,
Oh, so you heard of it, huh?
Oh man, I've heard of it. I hear it's really good. I mean, I'm from the coast, yo, so I think it's pretty good, man.
Have you used it before? You don't look like you used it. Now they definitely look skeptical.
Oh man, yeah, hell yeah. I mean, what are you talking about? I've used it a couple times, but like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know why you're so sketched about it. You know what I'm saying?
He's like, yo, everyone we see that gets messed up with that stuff, they go downhill real fast. Lady, I don't know what you're trying to pull. You're trying to act tough, but that stuff is no joke. That stuff is poison.
We must be talking about some different stuff, man. I'm sorry. Let's just have some beer and have some fun. I wasn't talking about that. You know what I'm saying?
He slides you the beer with the roofie in it. When you say let's have some beer.
Fuck you, Dave. So Agnetha just sort of like looks at the beer. She's just like, oh God. And I'm like, Oh man, I can really feel that dinner go. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. So Agnetha's gonna get up and go try to find the bathroom.
All right. Well, it'd be an outhouse outside.
All right, so Agnetha like rushes out the door.
Yeah.
And I'm like, get up! Like calling to the roof. She's like frantic.
Am I
It's like,
still on the roof
"Get me
at
the
this
hell
point, or
outta
did I
here!"
go with Daft to open the door?
Well, that's completely up to you.
I mean,
I'm on the
honestly, she
roof.
probably would have gone with Daft to open the door.
Oh, wait, no one's got my back. I'm all alone. You all left me. I'm just like, Harak! I'm like calling for Harak in the middle of the night.
All right, so we're gonna cut off there, and we're gonna go to Megan and Daff or Kenna and Daphne.
Okay. Kenna, please tell me you didn't leave me.
So, what do you got? What are you ladies doing?
I'm gonna open a door.
All right, so you find this old, rickety 3-story house that is in a bit of disrepair. You know, the lawn is not kept. You know, it's got the white picket fence that is kind of like faded and falling apart. The gate is half off its hinges. The place looks barely lived in, but this is the place that the old woman, who referred to herself as Granny, pointed out.
Okay. Well, let's get in. We shouldn't leave Agatha alone for too long. Who knows what'll happen to her?
I know. Well, I mean, she's pretty much got this. She's good at what she does, but you know.
Yeah, but she's also, anyways.
So, okay, so you're knocking the door.
Yeah, I'm not knocking on the door. I am knocking the door with the spell.
Yes. Okay. So you do that, and you know you easily blow through the lock on it, and you can go through now if you wish.
Cool.
All right.
So, what is your passive perception?
Passive would be, I think, 11.
14.
Okay. So you guys blow through the lock on the door, and you enter, and it's dark in there. It doesn't seem like anybody's around. As soon as you walk through, one of the boards creaks under your boot and shoots up from the floor, almost like it's on a pivot as your foot kind of goes through, through the board, and it swivels up and smacks you right in your shoulder. It'd probably be like the hip of a human, and you feel a sharp prick as you take a point of damage. But give me a con saving throw.
Oh, great.
Am I getting hit or just Megan?
Yeah, it's just Megan. So it literally looks like the cartoon when someone steps on a rake, except for it's a board with a nail in it.
16.
Okay, you're absolutely fine. You can feel you feel the prick, you feel the sting of it, and when you pull it out of your shoulder, you can see that the nail is coated with some kind of substance. It is oily and brown looking, but you're kind of hardy and tough, and it seems like your immune system is fighting off whatever it is. You feel a little sick for a moment, and then it passes.
I'm gonna need a tetanus shot.
But in hindsight, it was definitely a crude trap.
Okay, we should be more careful the rest of the way in. Can I reset this so that it doesn't look like I set it off?
Yes.
Okay, I do that.
And you might want to wipe off the blood.
Yeah, that too. I go more carefully from that point on. And then mention to Defexis we need to be like the utmostly cautious.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the house is barely furnished. It's unkept. What are you guys doing about light?
I have dark vision, so.
What
What about the halfling? Do you have dark vision?
No.
No, I don't think so. Let me check and see.
See what kind of snacks they have in the fridge, yo.
Prestidigitation doesn't glow things, does it?
Not really. It wouldn't be not so much that you could see by it.
Okay.
You can make fireworks.
Daphnex does have the light spell. You've seen her use it.
Well, I mean, there is that, but if there's anybody here, they might see us.
Well, you just watch the door. Let me know if anybody's coming, and I'll
Are you sure you're
investigate.
going to be okay and not get, like, trapped to death? Because that was some pretty serious business, and I'm kind of worried about you.
It's a loose floorboard. Quit being so paranoid.
No, it was absolutely a trap. I promise you.
Well, yeah, but it's a loose floorboard trap. That's like...
So
I really want to see what's in here. Come on.
So you're in a hallway, at the foyer that leads deeper into the house. There's, off to the right, there's a room. It looks like a sitting room, and to the left, there's stairs going up.
Okay. Well, I'm going to investigate floor by floor just to sure, we don't miss anything. Investigation skill. Whee!
So, which way are you going? Are you going deeper in down the hall or to the sitting room on the side?
Just gonna start with this room and just keep clearing clockwise effectively, or at least try to go clockwise.
All right. So so it's a decent sized sitting room with a bunch of there's a couple chairs and a couch, and everything is kind of like moth-eaten and falling apart. There's an end table with a plate on it with half-eaten food. It's like the worst bachelor pad ever.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna investigate and look around for any sorts of clues and find if there's any sort of leads to who's running all of this beyond.
Give me a perception check.
Not investigation?
No.
Oh, okay. Come out, dice roller. Boop. Roll. I got a 13 plus my 1 is 14.
Okay. You hear snoring coming from the room off of this one. And now give me an investigate check.
Okay. I'm going to wave over and try to use message to ask Kenna for a sharp, pointy object. And,
Messaging back, what do you need a sharp, pointy object for?
Somebody needs to die. Anyways.
Or are you serious? Okay, where?
I got a 18.
You can see I can't. Let me take care of that.
And I'll mention I heard somebody snoring. I don't know exactly where, but...
Well, maybe it's better if we just don't wake them up rather than leaving a body behind us. Just some food for thought.
I suppose, but that might make investigating a little bit slower. Hello?
Yeah?
I'll go watch the sleeper, and if it looks like they're... maybe bash them in the head so they don't.
Okay, give me a stealth check as you sneak over to where to the other room.
Okie dokie. $16.
Okay, you sneak over that way without any problem. There's something slightly familiar about the snoring.
All right.
Give me an intelligence check to see if you can place it.
Oh, good. I'm a halfling. I can re-roll that.
Yes, you can.
Oh, I need to hit the button again. My bad. No.
Okay, you can't quite place it, and it's driving you nuts. And you can't really see it. The snoring is coming from low, like almost from the ground. You feel in the other room. It's not up high, like where a bed would be.
I'm guessing some kind of animal.
So, Daphnex, you're moving in deeper into the house. Also, give me a stealth check.
All right. Hopefully the dice roller isn't going to, because that's weird. Does that say 14 on your guys' end?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're good. As you go deeper into the house, you find a kitchen. Off the kitchen, there's a pantry. You circle around. You find a dining room, and it looks like that's going to lead. If you keep going in that direction, it's just going to lead you in a circle back to the front room, and into the room where the snoring's coming from.
Okay.
And that's pretty much this floor.
Okay. I'm gonna avoid the snoring room for now.
So there's the stairs going up.
I'll go to the next floor then.
Stairs.
Okay. So at the top of the stairs, there's a hallway. There's a door directly in front of you, or you can go down the hallway.
I'm just going to keep trying to go clockwise, basically take every left.
Okay, well, when you go up the stairs, the left is a wall, like it's the outer wall of the building, and then like I said, then in front of you there's a door, or to the right.
In front of me, then.
Okay, so that door, it opens, and it opens up into a small chamber. It's clearly like a dressing room and a privy. Nothing there, but there's another door off of that, which opens up into a office. And there's a large wooden desk. This room, of every place you've been in so far, this is the only one that actually seems like anyone has cared about at all.
Okay. I'm gonna go over the office with a fine-tooth comb then.
Okay, so there's actually a large book on the desk. There's some quills and an inkwell, and it appears to be a ledger. But everything you're looking at it, it's written in code. You don't necessarily know what that code is, though, looking at it.
Okay. Does there seem to be any clues I can find, like, in the book or flipping through, or just basically I'm rifling through and being thorough?
What are your languages?
Let's see. Where did I put them all? I could have sworn I had them. Common, Gnomish, Elvish, and Dwarvish.
And Sylvan from the Pixie Pouch.
Yes, and Silver from the Pixie Pouch. So,
Oh yeah, but I figure that goes without saying.
You can make out some of the cipher because it's written in Dwarven, and some of it's written in another language that you don't understand. Give me an intelligence check.
Okay.
$16?
Does that say 10 on?
13. That shows.
Okay, my computer's being an asshole then. Because in the dice roller here it says 10, and up here it says 13 for some reason.
Yeah, I see 13.
So is that a total of 16 for you?
Well, with what's displayed, yes.
Okay. So you can decipher the language. It's written the cipher is written in a combination of Dwarven and Undercommon, but you don't actually read or speak Undercommon. So
Okay.
you won't actually be able to you won't be able to figure it out without a lot of work.
I'm gonna pop open my spell book, and the last page, the unused last pages of my book. I'm going to try to write some of the code down and whatnot that seems to be related, and
Okay.
etc.
So you're able to do that, and so in this room, the only other thing of any real interest is there is a cabinet with a lock on it.
Okay. I'm gonna go find Kenna and ask her if she happens to be able to work with locks as well, with knock.
I'm pretty sure it does. Let me check.
Yeah, it would work with it. You can use it on anything.
Cool. Yes, let's do this.
Okay, so you cast knock, and you hear a click as the lock unlatches, and the cabinet is before you.
Hey,
What's
what's in the
inside it?
cabinet?
So you guys,
There's no one in here, right? We can get a little light in here and it won't be like terrible.
correct.
I want to see what's in the cabinet. Please,
Okay.
Defexis.
So you open the cabinet, and you can both give me a Constitution saving throw as you hear a loud, thunderous roar as you open up the cabinet, and you're blasted. So you get knocked back 10 feet into the desk.
I
my
got,
God.
based on my screen, on what's displayed on the camera, I got a 17.
So you're able to brace against it, and you're not pushed back. But 16, 25, 33 points of sonic damage. Daff, you take half for making your saving throw.
33?
Yes. Well, you take half. You would take
Well,
16.
Yeah, I'm just making sure I got the total
Yeah.
right.
I am very hurt.
And Kenna takes the full brunt of it. And the noise that it made, is probably going to be heard from blocks away.
Okay,
And now you hear barking downstairs.
we got a jet. We gotta go. Oh crap.
Well, Daff hears barking from downstairs. Your ears are ringing.
I'm going to try to pick up Kenna and get her out of the house as quick as I can.
Yeah, as
Okay.
soon as I'm on my feet, I'm going. Can we invisibility
Wait.
before we jet? That
Yeah,
seems like
you-
it would be a smart
What's in
thing
the
to do.
cabinet? Was it just that loud blast, or was there actually anything in it?
Oh yeah, there's stuff in there.
Oh, what's in there real quick?
Uh,
Quick glance.
there's actually a couple small casks in there.
Oh boy.
Fuck it. They already know we were here. We should just go ahead and take one of those.
There's
I have a better idea.
there's 3 of them, and they're basically like they're about yay big, and they're basically like small chests.
Get out the window. I have a plan to cover our tracks.
Okay. I'm gonna have to cast invisibility as a 3rd level spell because I'm out of 2nd level spell slots, so I'm just gonna get Defexis 2 since it gives me an extra target.
Okay.
So invisibility out the window.
Once we're out the window, and I'm gonna get on the roof across and cast fireball on the floor with the casks.
Oh my. Okay, so
Oh.
there is because of the way the building is, and there's a little bit of a yard, you're gonna actually have to like climb down because you can't just get to another roof. They're not that close together, but you will easily be able to just shoot a fireball through the window and explode it.
That's
So
my plan.
So did you guys take any of the casks, or you left them?
Left them. There's no point in taking what's more than likely stink. So I'm just going.
Okay, so there's a huge explosion as the 2nd floor of the house erupts into flame. Apparently, the house is not built that well, so the 3rd floor begins collapsing in on the 2nd, and you hear the frantic barking of a dog.
Can I hear it at this point?
Oh yeah.
Kenna would go back in after it.
It can get out. We left the door open.
Oh,
my
that's
God,
true.
I can't
That's
just
true.
let
The
the dog
door was-
burned to death. I feel so bad about this. I can't. Oh.
Hmm.
Actually, hold
The
on.
dog
She doesn't remember
is-
Monty. I'm gonna roll a stupid check to see if this is something she would even care about right now. Yeah, she absolutely cares about this. She cares a great deal about this.
So you do have some time. If you open a door, the dog would probably be able to just run out.
Good. Gonna make
Well,
sure
the
the door is open or a window, like, or something. Just, and I'm gonna hang back and make sure the dog gets out, too, because...
We didn't shut the door behind us as far as I know.
I have to make sure the dog gets out. I'm sorry. Like, this is just very important to me, and I just...
Okay, so you ran round the corner of the house as you see the dog bolt out from inside. Apparently, the door was not shut behind you guys, and it is like one of the mangiest mutts you've ever did see. And now you can see it. You can see that there's probably you're almost surprised that that thunder spell even woke it up. It looks so old and decrepit. Pitiful.
I'm going to use some of my knowledge of various things to leave what looks to be, using prestidigitation, a gang sign from the city I grew up in. Just to throw everything off. And then dash away.
Okay, so you guys beat feet out of there, and
After leaving a gang sign, yes.
and well, okay, you guys are invisible too. So, Agnetha, you hear a loud bang, and then an explosion.
No. Am I in the outhouse right now? Is that where I am?
Well, you were outside. You were outside of the tavern. I mean, that's where you told them you were going. But
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm outside the tavern. So I hear this explosion and I just start booking it towards the explosion. I'm out of there. I'm going to leave that pub as fast as I freaking can. I got a name. That's all I need.
so
I'm out.
So you come out. You're wandering around. You're looking for them. You hear the bang, and then when you hear the bang, those 5 guys that were in a corner come rushing out, and they're kind of like looking in the direction the direction that the other girls went, which you don't really know. And then you see them jet that way, and then you hear the explosion.
So they
We
started
blew up
running.
their house.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just start booking it that way. The way towards the explosion, because I figure that Kenna and Daff have something to do with that. So I'm gonna just start running. I'm gonna just do everything I can.
Are you going to try and do it in a way where these guys don't notice you following them, or you just going to chase after them?
No. I'm going to follow them and be very stealthy and quiet.
Okay, so make a stealth
wolf
check with advantage.
Okay.
Why do I hear a crying puppy, by the way?
I'm so sorry. I'm puppy sitting.
Okay.
There's 2 of them. I think that, I know they didn't hear the thing about the dog, so that can't be what's upsetting them, but...
So I rolled an 8. What do I do with that? Do I add anything to that?
If you have stealth, add that to it, or if you have, or it's just your dex. Also, like I said, you can roll with advantage, so you get to roll 2d20 and take the better.
Okay, so that would be a 10. That was my better roll.
Okay, so so the last one stops and turns and looks directly at you. What are you doing? Why are you following us?
I can't oh my gosh. Okay. And be like, I just heard this big boom in the forest and I want to know what's going on. I mean, this is weird, right, guys? I'm just going to try to act stupid. And I'm going to be like, look, I just want to know what that is and see if I can help in any way. I'm just following you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to act cool.
He turns around, and when he turns around and looks at you, he kind of gives you a hard look. He's like, you should just go home.
All right. Yeah, totally. So Agnetha's going to start backing off, but can I follow them with my wolf sense and be nice and quiet and
Well, now it's going to be a lot harder. It's going to be a lot harder because that guy is definitely wary and looking around.
Okay. Well, I'll stay back for a minute and then I'm going to follow. I'm just going to keep following him as soon as I get the opportunity.
Okay.
By the way, since we're invisible, we're gonna head back on the way of Agatha after I'm done leaving the giant gang sign.
Okay, so at this point, you guys kind of come down the street, and you see the the dwarf followed by the 4 humans, running that way, and then you see the one in the back stop to talk and kind of like yell at your friend Agnetha.
Yeah.
Cool. I think we should go over there and like pull her further toward home and away from the scary guys.
You could also just message her if you wanted to.
Oh yeah. Hey, we're right here. We're gonna follow you.
We're gonna text her.
Yay! You're gonna text me.
Let's go. We blew up their house. We should leave.
Mage texting for the win.
Mage text. Yeah, I like that. Awesome. Okay, so Agnetha senses that, and she's just gonna be like, "Oh my god, thank God!" Okay, all right, help me out, guys.
So you guys are also starting to think that they're going to have to re-up much sooner than they anticipated.
Well, at least we're not gonna have to wait a couple days to follow them.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's my plan.
So
Plus, now they have to deal with the complication of the thought of a gang sign, which, and all sorts of...
Maybe, unless the house just burns down, all that work for nothing.
Well, I left it on the building across. At least that's what was intention was. So that way, that they show up to the burning building and they see on the building next to where the burning building is.
No, your best bet probably would have been to like leave it on the gate or something.
I just wanted to do something big and flashy, so it seems like they're a bunch of Nimrod rookies or something, or I don't know.
So okay, so on the neighbor's house then, which isn't real close, but yeah, if you do it big, they'll be able to see it.
Yeah, like the entire side of the building.
Yeah.
I had to cast prestidigitation a few times.
All right, so that's all well and good. And where are you guys going to meet up with Agnetha?
I'm just gonna pull her into an alley, like a good distance away from where we were.
Oh, we might as well go back to our tavern.
Okay, fine. We can go back to the poor boys pub.
there we go. This has been a hard.
So that was not how we intended tonight to go at all. We were supposed to be doing recon and we blew up their house.
Close. So you guys meet back up at the poor man's pub. I'm guessing you left Borscht there?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because he kind of sticks out.
Yeah. The plan never survives the first encounter with the enemy.
So he's kind of chilling by the fire, looking very happy and content, drinking from a mug of warm ale.
Okay. So he's back at this pub that I just left?
No. This is the other one.
The other one. Okay, so we're all going back to the other one, and we find Borscht sitting there chilling, being an awesome villain, right?
Yeah,
No,
much.
he's not chilling like a villain. Anyways,
badass.
I'm gonna walk in all cheery and tell Borscht, hey, guess what we did today?
I'm so nervous, I'm laughing.
Agnetha's just like, oh my god.
I know. I can't believe that just happened. I cannot believe we just did that.
So you guys, I got a name. I'm gonna just be freaking out. So I know of another guy that this Durwood, the dwarf, is connected to, and his name is Gus.
Gus
the bus.
Yeah. I guess he's like the main dude. I guess he's what Durwood.
Oh, is he the
gets his
man?
stuff from? He's the man. He's the main dealer almost, but who knows how deep this scum goes.
So we need your boyfriend.
Kenny, you already know Gus is the bartender, and you probably don't even want to tell Agnetha.
I don't tell Agnetha, but I do. Like, I make a show of making a little note of it in my notebook, but then I put a little asterisk next to it, and then write like, halflings don't have a written language, do we?
I don't know.
I
Let's
think
just
it's
say
very
that-
oral tradition, but I do write down underneath it, like in very tiny print, that's not what's going on.
But yeah,
they,
we
So
need-
Agnetha
They-
is like, go ahead.
they did give you the name Gus, but Gus is the bartender and he knows what's going on. But also, Agnetha has an 8 intelligence, so
Yeah, she's not not the brightest. She's like, I know that Gus is involved. So whatever you want to do with that information, Kenna.
Thank you
Agnetha
very much.
goes all question on you guys and starts, with the push pins and the strings, and it all leads to the Girl Scouts.
Anyways, Agatha, we need your boyfriend, Harak, or whatever his name is again.
Harak. Say it right.
His Rock.
His
No.
rock.
Ah.
We also need to go talk to Crazy Alchemist Vince.
Sheena.
Thank you.
So I don't think so. You're probably not going to. Well, Harak you could maybe track down, but it'd be a bit late for tracking down Sheena.
She is in the library doing her potions.
Gonna have to wait until tomorrow.
Well, it's probably like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night.
Oh.
Okay, my
She's at
main
home doing
concern here is that when they leave to go see this man, we're gonna want to know. So I'm probably like, somebody needs to go home and tell my parents that I'm okay, but I want to like stay up and go back and watch and see what's going on. Like, somebody needs to be scouting here.
It's going to have to wait till tomorrow. We need the alchemist lady and we need Harak. We need both of them.
There's 2 of you.
Yeah, but it's late. We'll do that tomorrow morning.
Yeah, but what if they leave before then?
I can tell you one thing: they're not sleeping at home tonight.
Oh god, they're probably somewhere where I can't find them right now anyway. Okay, well, how about instead of that, I asked Tom where the shady gate is. Like, if somebody's doing something underhanded, which gate are they leaving through, probably?
Here,
Oh,
Tom, do
what?
you know anybody? Alright, we have a point of address and where they pick up their shipments and stuff. That's what I got. I hold up my book and show
Oh,
the writing I found.
that's helpful. I did not know you had that.
We should have taken notes.
But
But I'll actually say, being that your plan was to blow the place up, you could have literally just taken the book and,
well,
that-
it wasn't the original plan. It's just the plan that happened.
but Daph has a 16 intelligence, so she's really smart. So I'll retcon that. If you decided you would have taken the book, you could have
thank
absolutely
God.
taken it.
I would have preferred to have taken the book. If,
Yeah.
I mean, like, even if we could have picked it up on the way out.
You're a genius, and then I proceed to hug her.
And Borscht runs over and hugs you both.
Ah, okay.
He's a hugger.
I allow this.
I hug him back.
I get
so
out of the hug.
I'm going to ask Tom if he knows anybody who can read the non-dwarven parts.
He just kind of scratches his head and goes, looks kind of like chicken scratch to me. The library, someone at the library could read that for sure.
Well, yeah, but the library isn't open this late, is it?
No.
Well, we're gonna have to go there tomorrow anyway.
And if if you spend tonight with the book and you make an investigate check, you can try and crack the cipher.
I'd appreciate that.
Because it's not so much that it's written in another language as it's a cipher that combines the two languages.
Right.
So roll. I got that, and with my proficiency in stat, that's a 19.
Okay, so yes, you're it's going to take you pretty much all night, but you will be able to break it down, and basically it's a ledger of the drugs and money that he's brought in since he's been running his operation, and you can see like there's a time prior to that where it looks like he was moving in some kind of other goods.
Okay.
which seemed to vary. Like sometimes it was different kinds of liquor, alcohols, or different kinds of other drugs that weren't quite as hard as the stank. And then you could see where he strictly just purely went over to the stank, and his profits was like quadrupled at that time.
By the way, I have a 19 intelligence, not a 16.
Okay.
I need to heal myself. Can I do that quickly?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I'm casting it as a level 4 spell.
So over the course past 2 months, you can tell that he's been dealing in the stank, and been making a lot of gold doing it. And it looks like every 2 weeks he would get a new shipment in.
Does it have kind of a drop site or something alluding to where he picks up and drops the stuff off, or
it does not. It's really just the financial transactions.
So you have evidence, but we don't have the rate. Catch my luck. He takes terrible notes.
But it does show the different things that he's been bringing in, and there is a full year's worth of stuff in there, and it's just the last 2 months that he's been dealing with the stank. But pretty much everything else is illegal. And
so yeah, basically I can give it to Harok and he can arrest the guy, but that's about it.
yes, you definitely have evidence.
Nice.
Well, the only thing is, this is bigger than that. And I mean, like, Darewood, he's a big deal, obviously, but we still need to... I mean, like, if this hits the coast, it's going to be a big problem, and they're getting it from somewhere else. This is not the root of the issue.
No, it's not.
But if he does arrest him, then that gives us an opportunity to ask him questions, so I'm not going to naysay that.
Right. At least we have something. We can work on that.
They want to know about the puppy.
Yeah, I can hear a puppy.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go get the puppy. I'm not bringing him here, but I'm gonna move him somewhere that is not where he is, so he stops doing that.
That's your puppy.
No, I'm puppy sitting.
Your puppy sitting. Oh,
Yeah,
I got it.
Earlier.
That's awesome.
So yeah, in the morning we get Harok and have the alchemist lady go double check the figures and codes and stuff.
Okay, so they actually direct you to somebody else in the library. That's more, the cipher and the code would be more up their alley.
Yeah, okay.
And
She didn't listen.
that's okay. And it confirms what you already figured out. So you guys also take the ledger to Harok.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to find him first, but
He's
after
probably dealing with the fire.
After talking to different guards and tracking him down, he sees you guys. He sees you guys coming. The one of you had this big book, and he just has a little bit of a weary look in his face, and he's like, oh, I should have known.
Should have known what?
Did you ladies have something to do with that fire last night?
Isn't it better for you if you don't know one way or the other?
I plead the fifth.
Don't be silly. Come on.
Plausible deniability, my friend.
What do you guys need from me?
On it. Isn't it a gang thing?
Wait, what?
That's what I heard anyway.
We don't really have gangs here in Gryphongaffe, and when they do try and rise up, I squish them down as fast as I can.
Yeah.
I heard they were from out of town. Big wink.
So he's like, all right, come on, and he starts heading back to the barracks where his office is. Let's talk. I feel a story coming on.
I'm like, look, Harok, I couldn't find you at the bar last night, so I went to this weird pub place, and these guys wanted to play darts. Next thing I know, there's a fire. I have no idea where this fire started.
That's true. She had nothing to do with the destructive part.
So it's believable lie. It's a lie,
was
but
a
it's still the
gang.
truth.
Huge gang sign, you know? That's what I heard.
Huge gang sign. But
Yeah.
you will never guess what fell off the back of a wagon when we happened to be walking behind it.
What fell off the wagon? Oh my god, I can't even
That's a
guess.
gesture to Defexis.
Book! And I'll hand them the code translations that I came up with and what the...
So he kind of like
Oh.
waves to you guys to grab a seat, and he pull he's not wearing the greatsword that he had on his back the last time you guys seen him. This time he's got the giant maul again, and he pulls that from his back and sets it in the corner. And in the corner you can see that his greatsword is there, and there's a great axe there, and there's a couple other very large weapons as well.
They're all great.
They're all great.
You ridiculous ladies.
And he's like, all right, what do we got here? What are we looking at? And he starts like scrunching up his face and scratching his head, and starts leafing through the pages with turning them with one big thick finger.
Basically, you've got somebody who's bringing in illegal goods, including drugs and various other things. And we have his ledgers.
They fell off the back of a wagon.
He who? Wait a minute. You were over by the broken donkey, the busted donkey.
That's where the wagon was.
And
Agatha was there. We had to go pick her up. She got pretty plastered last night.
Oh, I go over to Harok's weapons. I'm like, what do we have here? These are really nice. What year is this again? Harok, these are amazing weapons. Quite impressive.
well, thanks. I take pride in them. I maintain them myself.
Get
But
around.
You do.
But all that being said, so let me guess, it's that filthy dwarf, isn't it?
Yep.
Not as in dwarves are filthy. Some of my good friends are dwarves, but that dwarf is filthy.
Yes, it was
Alright.
definitely that dwarf.
Good that you checked yourself.
Yeah, he's a sly one. Durwood, they call him.
It was his wagon.
Here's his money book.
Interesting.
Definitely his book.
Surprisingly enough, last night, his house seems to have caught fire and burnt down.
Yeah, it's the funniest thing,
Really?
isn't it?
And he's been nowhere's to be found either. Although, we have his dog.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's fine. I
Okay.
didn't know what else to do with it. And then that's when you notice the snoring from the other side of his desk.
Aw. Aw.
I bet Kenna would like to adopt the dog.
I have a dog.
Doesn't have an owner, especially since he's going to jail soon.
I have a dog.
And Murphy Bed could use company, right?
His name is Monty. And I don't know if he'd take kindly to another dog. It seems like Harok has bonded with him quite nicely, though.
Yeah, that thing is old as dirt.
A
Surprised
blindness
it's
dog.
still alive. It's like half blind in one eye. Poor thing.
I wouldn't dream of separating the two of you.
Well, so we have his book. We just have to find the stupid dwarf now, and to figure out where he's bringing this stuff in from.
Yeah, I was hoping this ledger might have it, but it didn't turn out that way, sadly enough. Unless you have somebody who can divine invisible ink or something, I don't know.
Well, he kind of looks it over and goes, "Well, it can't be far from here, judging by these dates. I mean,
Yeah. Well, and the quantities that he's getting, are they particularly large, or
they were decent size.
so that kind of
quantities.
limits the amount of places he could get that,
Mm-hmm.
larger cargo makes it for harder transporting. So
Well, and the other thing too is you guys kind of saw the delivery, so the quills, so you can kind of like bundle the quills up. It'll take up a lot of space. But
Okay.
this gives us something to start with, and at least this will slow them down. I'm tired. I'm really getting tired of dragging all these stinky vagrants in here. Oh, and by the way, thanks for the antidote.
Okay, I was wondering if they let you know about that.
Of course,
No
of course.
problem. We do what we do
Yeah.
because we're heroes.
Thought you'd like that, Harok.
Well, heroines in this case, but
Got
So-
your back like Jen Sport.
Oh,
Lenny made sure we knew.
tell them about the rabbits. Never mind.
So,
Of mice and men, just bad reference. Anyway,
so now what do you ladies plan on doing?
doing more
Okay.
damage.
let me ask you first.
Okay.
Do you really want to know?
Yeah, I got a good feeling about you girls.
Okay, well, I think what we're planning on doing from here is because, I mean, their stock kind of got blown up by some rival gang members, so we're thinking that they're probably going to have to go back and, replenish their stores, and we could just kind of tail them and find out where they're getting it from. Cut it off at the source.
I mean, like at this point, they're in critical danger of falling through with their supplies, which means they're going to be forced to act quicker and more carelessly and potentially make more mistakes this time around. I suppose that's
Or
the advantage of the gang blowing up their house and destroying their supplies.
or maybe they're going to go to ground and try and wait for things to blow over a little.
Right. I was gonna say, is there anybody that we might be able to use for information? Like these guys that I made friends with at the bar, maybe? I left according to them. I was totally cool. But I don't know if I can be used for anything. Maybe
Well-
they can trust me.
What is your wisdom score, Sam?
It is 12.
Okay. So you definitely got the vibe from them that whatever Durwood was into, they weren't.
Right. Yeah, they were a little sketched out by his
Like those dudes were definitely shady, but they were a different kind of shady.
right. They were kind of sketched of his shadiness.
More Slim Shady? Well, they weren't that slim. Anyways,
Okay. Well, what about Gus? Can we find out anything from Gus?
Now, Gus was clearly in league with them in some fashion or another. He was letting them have free reign of the place, and what was going on was pretty obvious.
And
He
Agnetha was
seems to
right
be
there in
amazing.
his line of sight whenever the place blew up, so there's no way that he's going to suspect her.
No.
well, I mean, like, Harok could bring in Gus for questioning.
Plus, the other thing too is like Gus may not even really care. Like when you guys kind of talk it over and like kind of hash things out, he could be involved completely, or he could really just be the owner of the bar, and as long as they paid for the space, he might not care what happens. So his involvement could be from barely to very.
Well, still. Make the
But
guy
yes.
lose business over it because, these guys have been found out. He loses business, he loses money, and then he's getting directly affected, which then causes him to, feel the squeeze, so to speak. Don't even have to really do anything terrible to him, just take him in for question. Oh, I'm cutting out?
No.
Oh.
Dave, I didn't hear what you just said. I completely cut out.
Okay, so what I said is basically Gus could be barely involved to completely involved.
Okay. I
And
think
Harok,
he's got to be somewhat involved because he seems to have this pub in the middle of town and he's contributing in some way. I would think he's involved, but I haven't.
Well,
So
here's an idea. We have Harok bring him in. Spread a few rumors that he ratted out the dwarf ruin his reputation with those people. Then he either has to come to the Harrock and get help from, the police, or he's screwed because then the people who deal the drug think that he screwed them over, and well, that's a whole nother level of dangerous.
Well, if we decide that's what we want to do, I can take care of making sure people talk about that.
Rock says, "I like that plan. That's actually that's a really smart plan.
Yeah.
Good idea. Smoke them out. If you think if Gus thinks that Durwood thinks that he ratted him out, he's going to get off the squirrely."
All right.
Yeah.
Well, then it seems like we have got an arrangement.
And along with the possible new gang moving in on their territory, they're going to be extremely...
Okay, so that's the plan. Bring Gus in, spread rumors, make him believe that Durwood is going to think that he ratted him out. And I think that is where we're going to leave off, and we'll take up with that on next session next week in 1 week. So everyone, thanks for watching, and we will see you next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Until next time, stay nerdy.
Be safe, nerdlings.
Stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.